Natalie was a highly trained CIA case officer with a roster of techniques she used to connect with targets. A Muslim of Lebanese heritage, she utilized her knowledge of Islam to establish ties with terrorist targets and remove them from the battlefield. But this mission was a bit different. Natalie wouldn't be chatting up someone at a tea house or charming a foreign diplomat whose government might be covertly supporting a terror group. On this particular mission, she would be sitting in front of a computer screen. The CIA had gathered intelligence that a top Yemen-based al-Qaeda lieutenant, we'll call him Nabil, was looking for a wife. The agency managed to connect Natalie with him online, and they started corresponding. Her mission was to elicit al-Qaeda insider information, and if at all possible, to get him to share details about himself that might help the CIA to target him. Natalie, posing as El Medina, slowly built rapport with Nabil, telling him of her life in Syria, the challenges she and her family had endured in the country's civil war, and how she was looking for a righteous man of faith to help her move forward with her life. She started the conversation warily, acting as if she were shy, but Nabil was interested and he started pursuing El Medina. She turned his interest against him, subtly getting him to share details that the agency began to assemble into a broader picture. The details Nabil shared about his life put him in Hadramawat province, a terrorist stronghold in this desperately poor country. He mentioned certain roads and markets in nearby towns. He told his charming El Medina that he traveled in a small Suzuki truck because the Americans tended to look for Toyota Hilux trucks. Critically, he noted that he had been injured in a recent skirmish and his leg was broken. The CIA sent drones into the area they believed Nabil inhabited. Not long after, they spotted a Suzuki 4x4 and saw a man get out of the passenger seat to head into an internet cafe. He made his way into the cafe with the help of crutches. Nabil probably believed he was using good tradecraft, riding in a car that wasn't typical of his al-Qaeda colleagues. Perhaps he thought that patronizing an internet cafe would avoid the chance of his compound being compromised because it provided a degree of cover from his enemy's electronic surveillance efforts. But El Medina's tradecraft was better. She chatted with him over the internet while he was in the cafe, ramping up her virtual affection for him, telling him that she longed for a time soon when she could meet him in person, when they could be together. Eventually, Nabil said he had to go. He hobbled back to his driver outside the internet cafe, perhaps enthusing over his potential bride-to-be, when soon after driving away from the cafe, a missile from a Predator drone struck his truck, obliterating the vehicle and completing the mission of removing Nabil from the battlefield. El Medina's proficiency in subtly collecting bits of information helped her contribute to the mission of removing a notorious terrorist with the blood of civilians on his hands.